So this fault is common in the, as said, in the X1 16 plate onwards and the F45 models. It's to do with the gear lever here. We're going to rip it apart. It's a bit dark in here, but I'll rip it apart and show you the stages of what you need to do. It's a kind of spring in there that's causing the fault, so we will fix it. It's the spring and a magnetic sensor that triggers all this fault. So we'll rip all this center console out, take this gear shifter out, and I'll show you the stages. And the fault code is actually this here. It's this fault code, and this is the name for it. This is what's coming up. It's very common, and it's to do with the spring. I'll show you step by step. This is how the whole gear lever works here. This bit here, there is no clock spring. No idea what it is, but everything seems to be intact. No issues. So that fault means the gearbox shifter. I have ripped it apart. As you can see, every part has been taken off. And the thing that's causing it is this spring here. I've ordered it. This on this current one has been, shall I say, bent back way too much, and it's causing the sensor to trigger and say that there's a fault in the gearbox. So I'll take this one out, and it's literally here, as you can see from here. It's that white lever. I'll take it out. I've taken it out. So this is what it looks like once it's in like this. Taking it out, and as you can see, the spring has snapped, hence why it's coming up with this fault. Sometimes it doesn't snap, it just bends, and you don't get that lovely, shall I say, look at this one. So for instance, if I pop it down, and if I get this one, see how this has got this kind of V shape to it? That's bent back too much. It looks like the gear lever has been used too much. Sometimes it doesn't even need to do like too many miles. It just seems to be a common fault in them, in the F model, well, in the X1s, the new shapes from 16 onwards, and some of the F45, especially this sort of gear lever. So I've taken the gearbox apart, well, the gear lever shifter apart. I'm going to take that spring coil out, and I'm going to put this one in. That's what it's like. I've taken it out, and usually with that spring, it kind of forces it to be in this sort of shape rather than twisting inside there. So in other words, this is magnetic. It's a bit difficult to explain, but this magnetic, if it's not in its position, it will cause the sensor on here to trigger all the time and think there is a fault. So what the spring does is it pulls it back so it's in its position, and it will keep it away from the sensor. So it's not always. Usually this triggers when it's in N or D and you've got the door open or something. That's how the whole circuit works. But as you can see, it's magnetic. There you are. But yeah, we'll change it to this new spring and hopefully see what. As you can see, I've put the new one in, and you can see it's coming out this way. So that, in other words, will push itself against that lever there. This lever here. But the other one wasn't there, obviously, and you kept coming as back. You can see now, you see the spring, how it's sitting on there before it was cut. So as you can see now, look how it's tight. That white lever is tight to the bracket, and this end is coming out. Before, this was actually sticking out, coming out quite a lot. So we'll put everything back together and hopefully take it. So now we've fitted everything back, everything's on. If we turn the vehicle on and go into here, vehicle status, if you look at the check control, there's nothing about the gear. Everything's fine now. It's not bringing any sort of faults up on there as well, so jobs are good in. So yeah, it was the spring in there, which is about £6, £7 on eBay. You can order it. It's called, as far as I know, I just typed in BMW gear shift lever spring and he brought it up.